Listen up, brand new company. You always want to know what's in style on the Wall Street Fashion Show, right? And right now, as I said at the top of the program, it's FinTech, short for financial technology. At a time when investors are wary of owning the actual financials, the banks, who can blame them? You see money gravitate toward FinTech, especially the companies that handle payments. Companies like Wex, W-E-X, sort of maybe a small version of FleetCor, although they're different. We talked about that one last month. Wex handles corporate payments. They've got a big fuel card business. They've expanded into travel, accounts payable, and healthcare. Now, that may not sound too exciting to some, but you know what? I care about exciting. This thing has rallied 50% year to date, and it set a new all-time high just last week. So could this under-the-radar payments name give you more upside? Let's take a closer look with Melissa Smith. She's the president and CEO of Wex, Inc. to learn more about her company and its prospects. Ms. Smith, welcome to Mad Money. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so tell me something, Melissa. The first thing people are going to say is, all right, what the heck does Wex really do to save my business money, and why do I need them?
Yeah, well, we work in the background. You talked about us being a FinTech company.
Yes.
Let me give you examples of what we do. And so if you think of a company like Expedia,
okay,
where we go into the background, they've got all these payments they have to make to hotels around the world.
Right.
They're getting payments in advance by consumers. What we do is make a connection to that individual consumer payment and make a payment on behalf of Expedia to the hotels around the world. And so for someone like them or other online travel agencies, it allows them to focus on scaling their business and not have to worry about this idea of, I have many, many different payments to make. And if that consumer ultimately wants to buy a movie or do something that's ahead of what they paid for, we can block that.
Okay, so it's interesting, because I own a piece of it, and I did not know that. We use Expedia. I just figured the check was from Expedia. I mean, you are behind the scenes, but you certainly make it work because it's the way we do business now.
That's right.
10 years ago, we didn't. This is all we do now. Yeah. So I get that. Now, you just announced something very big deal with a gasoline company, and it seems like that you've got some exposure to fuel, but it's a good business.
Yeah. So on the fuel card side of the business, we just talked about the fact that we've developed a product called Driver Dash.
Right.
So Driver Dash. So Driver Dash is used, it's a mobile payment device, and so people use their mobile phones. They have our app loaded on that, Driver Dash, and it uses facial recognition in order to allow someone into the app. Then it turns on the pump. So if you picture yourself, you're driving in, you're a Ford F-250, you're sitting next to the pump. It turns the pump on remotely, so it's very secure. And then as you fill up your vehicle, the information gets transmitted back to us, and so we're collecting data around that transaction.
Okay, so when I first heard it, my first reaction was like, oh, big deal. Why don't I just get out and pump? What's the problem? But actually, in terms of productivity and money saved, when you go to the pump as much as your customers does, it's a considerable savings.
It's a savings not just in terms of time, but also in the ability to make sure we're collecting data in the right way that allows the product to work better and making sure that it's more secure, because it gets turned on at the point that the person hits that pump and then off as they turn off that transaction. So it eliminates this concept of white plastic fraud.
Okay, all right. Now, that's something our viewers will definitely understand. Now, you're a strong player in what are virtual cards, which you say will displace checks and B2B payments. But the first thing I thought of was like, okay, that sounds great, but what's a virtual card?
Virtual means card not present. No plastic.
Okay.
We started virtual cards many years ago, and the idea behind that was being able to make a payment. Typically, it's an online payment, and doing it using an account number, but without any physical plastic. And so you think about this concept of high integration, very seamless. You can facilitate a payment without having a card present, and you can do this in a huge transaction volume. So if you think about it, we have $76 billion worth of volume running through our company. You could do some of that with virtual cards. Well,
I mean, when I see the companies that you do business, I mean, American Express, my first thing there, so there I thought that I'm not playing devil's out, I'm just trying to learn. Because I want our people to own your stock, because you know how much I love payments processing. I said, well, why does American Express have to deal with Little Wex? But it's not Little Wex, right? And you help them immensely.
Yeah. So someone like American Express come to us because of the technology that we provide. You started with this concept of being a FinTech provider.
Right.
It's around, for us, we want to make sure that we're providing technology, integrating it through APIs to businesses, to partners, to financial institutions, to individually to companies. So, a whole host of different type of customer set. American Express would be using the technology is a piece of their technology stack as they go out into the marketplace.
Okay, and for health benefits, this is not business to consumer, be our business plan that you would help be better at doing what it's doing?
So if you have an HSA account or a flexible spending account, we're often the technology that sits in the background to that. So when you are making a payment, we're making sure that you're paying for things that are appropriate so that they're health related, but also allow them to be made on a tax deferred basis.
Okay.
And we're accumulating data around your purchases so that we can help advise employers around how much money should you fund into someone's HSA account.
Okay.
How much should you as a consumer be directing into that account?
So you're making everybody smarter.
Yeah, a lot of what we do is that the data that sits in the background is where talking about that being the wow.
Right.
All of what we do is integrated, and that's important because it allows companies to do what they want to do. I mean, sometimes grow, sometimes save money. But at the end of the day, where we can pull data into the equation and we can show it to customers in a visual way, that's where the wow comes in.
You have a bank license. I'm sure some people say, well, listen, I don't want any banking whatsoever, but it's not the kind of risky bank license that we're used to, right?
So we own an industrial bank license. It's a bank in Utah, and we use that to issue any of the card products that we have in the United States.
That makes
Very
sense.
special purpose.
And then the last thing is, if oil goes up or down, do I have to worry about Wex's earnings?
So we have exposure to oil. I'd say less. So look at the last several years in the company's history, we've diversified the business. So we have less and less exposure to fuel. But as fuel prices go up, we do have some benefit of that. And if fuel prices go down, we do have some negative to that.
But hopefully the analysts who follow you understand that. So this is kind of like when Costco has that issue. We really kind of build it in and don't think about it.
We're very transparent. We talk about what the impact is. We make sure even when we give guidance, we talk about what we're assuming around fuel prices. And as I said before, the biggest thing for us is we've diversified the business. When we first went public, almost 70% of our revenue was exposed to fuel prices. Now it's in the 20s.
Well, excellent. You've done a fantastic job in 5 years. Happy anniversary. And worked at the company for a very long time. Done a great job. That's Melissa Smith. She's the CEO of Wex. What a great stock. And now I hope you understand the company. They are very transparent. Lots of good documents and lots of good press releases on this new deal. If you want to understand how things are working, they have money back in.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.